What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video we're talking about the best boxers in the UFC. That's right, I'm going to go through every single weight class in the UFC from flyweight to heavyweight, and I'm going to give my nomination for who I believe is the best boxer in that division. And down the line I might also do like an overall tier list, or like a top 10, top 15, something like that, top 20, one of those style of videos. But for now I'm just going to be talking about one fighter in each division. Look, you might have thought it was like a kind of hard concept to make, like in terms of thinking about who is the best boxer in each division, because there are a lot of great boxers in the UFC, but I actually didn't have that much trouble with this. I honestly thought it was pretty easy to pick out. But yeah, let's get into it, starting with the flyweight division. So for flyweight, I'm going with Steve Erceg, Bedtime MMA himself. I'm going to say he's the best boxer in the flyweight division, honestly. I've seen a few other people ages ago do editions of this sort of video, and they had Brandon Moreno, but this was before Erceg kind of came along and really established himself as a top guy in the division. Obviously, we saw debut against Dvorak, Alessandro Costa win, nothing crazy, nothing to write home about. KO's Matt Schnell, again, nothing crazy to write home about, but it's his fight with Pantoja that really gives me this opinion, because his technique is fucking elite. Like, I'd say it's weird though, because there's not really any people that look like just crazy. There's not any people that you take them and you be like, yeah, you actually look like a pro boxer. Like, you almost look like a professional. Steve Erceg doesn't look like a professional boxer, but he's just got way better boxing than everyone else at flyweight. You see guys like Pantoja, Moreno, Royval, they're slinging it, like they're swinging out arm punches. They don't look that technical. They don't look all that precise with their punching. And we saw the difference compared, like Royval and Moreno against Pantoja compared to how Erceg did. Erceg looked way better on the feet than Moreno and Royval. His precision is really good with his shots. His range management is great. He's got a great jab. He holds the jab out there, kind of pumps out a few jab feints and then goes with shots there. He comes into the range well, enters the pocket well, throws good shots in the pocket, has a good left hook as well. So yeah, Steve Erceg, in my opinion, best boxer in the flyweight division. Joshua Van is a good shout, but we haven't really seen enough from him. I think, like, in terms of just watching someone box and throw punches, I honestly think Josh Van is the best boxer in the flyweight division. But I also have to kind of talk about level of competition and who they're actually showing their boxing against. Because Josh Van is against unranked guys, but Steve Erceg is shown to be, I'd say, the best on the feet against the current champion. So I'm going to go with him as my nomination. But let's move on to the bantamweight division. So for the bantamweight division, I'm going to go with Petr Yan for the best boxer at 135, in my opinion. Now, I put up a poll on my community post. I said, who's a better pure boxer, O'Malley or Yan? Because striker is a different conversation. Then I would really consider putting O'Malley, because he did technically get the win over Yan. That's when you really would have to sit down and be like, damn, who's the better striker? But pure boxing, just with the hands, I do believe Petr Yan is better. And I think it's in terms of pure boxing, throwing punches. Because O'Malley, he does have the range on his side. He does have that reach advantage. So yeah, it kind of is easier for him to land his shots. But Petr Yan, I think, you see him against like Aljo in the first fight was just piecing him up on the feet. Even in the second fight, in the fourth and fifth, he looked great on the feet. Even against O'Malley, I would say, because O'Malley landed a big shot, but I'd say the biggest shot of the fight was landed by Yan, in my opinion. But then the other shots O'Malley was landing was a lot of leg kicks and those knees up the middle that he cut Yan open with, stuff like that. So boxing-wise, I think Yan is the best. Sandhagen, and then the Song Yadong fight, both of those two just show how good this guy is at boxing. Even the Jose Aldo fight too. And it's not like this guy's outboxing grapplers. Like Sandhagen, Jose Aldo, Song Yadong, Sean O'Malley. I'm not saying he outboxed Sean O'Malley, but competitive fight there. Like, these are strikers that he is outdoing on the feet. I do believe he's clearly the best boxer at bantamweight. Just watch him throw punches. He's probably the most fluid striker. Like, O'Malley's a bit quicker, a bit more like quick twitch reactionary, throws kicks, looks a bit more flashy, but I think when you just take it down all the way to the boxing, and if you put these two in a boxing ring, I think Petr Yan would win. But let's move on to the featherweight division. Now, for featherweight, this is an interesting one, because a lot of people came at me in the comments of one of my last videos when I said that Ilia Topuria was a better boxer than Max Holloway, and that's who I'm going with, obviously, Ilia Topuria as the best boxer at 145. And a lot of people got mad at me, and they said, oh, you're dumb, that's a bad take, and all this. And I'm like, I really don't understand how it's a bad take. Alexander Volkanovski 50-45 to Max Holloway in the trilogy with 90% boxing. It was not like the first fight when he was chewing up his legs. That was a lot more of a kicking heavy performance. Third fight, he just boxed the fuck out of him. And also, just watch Holloway strike compared to Ilia Topuria. Boxing-wise, watch them throw punches. Ilia's just a cleaner boxer. He closes range really well. He throws tight shots in the pocket. He's got major power. I know Holloway's got some big KOs in his last fights, but those aren't like Ilia KOs. Ilia Topuria KOs is just like he lands on your chin and you die. Like Holloway against Gaethje, swinging massively, couldn't see the shots coming, bang, out of nowhere. Korean Zombie ran into him and got dropped. I'm not saying Holloway doesn't have like great power. He's clearly a very powerful dude, but Ilia's got that one punch power. He's got like consistent one punch power to the point that he knocked out Volkanovski with punches. Previously, the only other guy to do it was some welterweight back on the regional scene, and then Islam Makhachev with a head kick. So I think Ilia is the best boxer. He's got an amazing jab. He's got a great cross. He rolls with shots really well. Holloway also does roll with shots very well, but also Holloway's absorbed the most strikes in UFC history. He's also landed the most, so fair enough, but he's been around for ages, so that does go for both, fair play. But I don't know, he gets hit a lot, he gets cracked, and I think that when we're talking about, oh my god, Holloway's chin is granite, it's crazy, which it is granite chin, but we shouldn't know your chin is just absolutely granite, fight in, fight out. That's not something we should be talking about every fight that you have. Damn, bro, how's this guy taking these shots? That's not what we're doing with Ilia. Ilia, he was like getting jabbed a little bit by Volk. Like Mitchell landed a couple shots on him, but we're never like, oh my god, how did he take that? Like apart from one head kick against Jai Herbert, that's like the only shot we've seen landed on this guy that we're like, how the fuck did that not knock him out? We're doing that with Holloway regularly. We're going like, how is this guy not getting dropped? You shouldn't have that tested. If you've got the best boxing in the featherweight division, you should be able to be defensively sound enough for us to not need to be like, oh my god, this guy's chin is keeping him in every fight. You should not have to do that. You should be defending the shots like Ilia does, and rolling with punches, slipping them, countering. And yeah, I think right now, I do believe Ilia Topuria is a better boxer than Max Holloway. Pure boxing-wise. Striking, it's a different story. Max can mix up some kicks and stuff, then it's a bit closer. But yeah, pure boxing, Ilia is like cut and dry. His boxing, like his stand-up is pretty much just boxing. So I do think he takes Max Holloway in that department. But let's move on to the lightweight division. Now for lightweight, we've got Mr. Shine Bright like a diamond. Dustin Poirier himself fighting for the UFC lightweight title next weekend against Islam Makhachev. So I thought it would be a good kind of concept because a lot of people do bring up Dustin Poirier in the best boxing conversation. And again, I put up another poll. I said, who's the best boxer out of these guys? I put Poirier, Max, Ilia, Jan, and then I chucked Volk in there too. I probably should have picked someone else. But it's pretty much like an even split, a little bit more towards Ilia. But yeah, between Holloway, Poirier, and Jan, it's pretty much like an even split in terms of who people think is the best boxer. Dustin's boxing is very good. Now, he has been finished with strikes before from punches. That has happened. Obviously, the Gaethje KO, that's not like a lack of boxing. But even like in a lot of his fights, look, he does get tagged a bit. He does get hit on the feet. He's been knocked out before. But I think his offensive boxing, and when this guy's throwing like pocket combinations, when this guy's on the front foot and just in his zone, he's got some of the nastiest striking you'll see in the whole sport, let alone the lightweight division. The way he puts together combinations, he'll like the TKOs against, all you got to look, Conor in the rematch, Gaethje in their first fight, Alvarez, like when this guy gets going on the feet and he rocks you once, you're cooked. Like he's landing another 20 shots by the time you've even like realized what's going on, and then you're done and you're finished. So yeah, I do believe Dustin Poirier, even the fight with Dan Hooker, that's what I was going to say. And BSD too. Again, he was getting pressed a little bit, but mostly that was grappling. You know, BSD landed some knees, some elbows and stuff. But in the boxing department, his counters are crisp. He's got one-shot power. He's finished heaps of guys. I think he's tied for most knockouts in lightweight. I think tied with Drew Dober. And if he gets to win, or maybe he's one ahead of Drew Dober. And if he gets to win against Makhachev, he'll definitely be one clear. But yeah, we've seen it time and time again. This guy causes problems for everyone on the feet. There's no one that's just not had a tough time with Poirier on the feet. And Max Holloway, why am I not talking about that? The guy that many people consider the best boxer in the UFC, or one of the best boxers. I know short notice-ish, not a like complete optimal circumstances. Holloway didn't look amazing in that fight, like physically, but still, you can't deny the fact that when it came down to it, they stepped in the cage and they fought. Poirier was whooping his ass in, like, I think it was the first couple rounds. He almost, not dropped him, but almost dropped him. And again, in most of his fights, you see this guy show boxing superiority over his opponents. Let's move on though to the welterweight division. For welterweight, I'm going to go with Jack Della Maddalena. Now, some people might disagree with this. I don't think it's that controversial of a take. There's guys like, Usman's got some good boxing. He's got a nice jab, but that's pretty much it. Jeff Neal's got some solid hands. But apart from that, I don't know, like not Mike Perry, MVP. He's also got some pretty solid boxing. But I think when you come down to it and you see pure boxing, when you see like just guys throwing hands, not mixing up kicks, not doing this, no flashy weird moving shit, no spinning bullshit, just punches, sorry. I'm getting confused. Just punches. When you're seeing guys just box, I think Della is the best in the welterweight division. Finishes over a lot of guys outside the rankings. And then in the rankings, pretty much shut down Holland. I know that was a split decision on the cards, but let's be honest, he pretty clearly beat Kevin Holland, outboxed him. Against Gilbert Burns, it was a pretty close fight, but he was still outboxing him, and he only had one arm. I know the start of the finish came with a knee, but you saw in that fight, he's got a really nice jab. He cracks a lot of guys. He's got clean boxing. His defense is great too, so that's a part of it as well. But yeah, I would say less so because I'm like, oh my god, this guy's just the best boxer in the sport, and more so because I'm like, who else at welterweight would you put ahead of him? Like, if you're going through the rankings, it's not Leon. He's more like kicks and knees and elbows and stuff. It's not, I wouldn't say Usman's better. Like Shavkat, don't think so. I think he's more well-rounded with his striking. And yeah, you progress through the rankings. I don't think anyone is better than Della at just pure boxing. That's my opinion. Let's move on though to the middleweights. For middleweight, I've gone with Sean Strickland. Again, I don't think this is that controversial. He completely outboxed Izzy pretty much with just boxing and I guess a teep for 5 rounds, 49-46 to him. Now, the loss to Dricus is where some people, if they look at it on paper, they might be able to be like, oh, Dricus outboxed him. I don't think Dricus outboxed him. I think you can pretty clearly tell in that fight, Sean Strickland was the better pure boxer. Dricus, he landed a lot of kicks. He landed head kicks. He landed body kicks. He landed good leg kicks at times. And then he grappled a lot too. Not saying he didn't land any punches. He definitely did. But I think just, you can look, technique-wise, I do think Sean Strickland is the best boxer at middleweight. He's got the best defensive striking, I'm pretty sure, at middleweight. That's like actually like on the stats. I'm pretty sure that's a thing that exists. And again, apart from that, I put up a poll. You can't say Izzy because it's between Strickland and Dricus, because you can't say Izzy because he got fucking schooled by Strickland in the stand-up. It's kind of hard to make an argument for Rob. I mean, you can, but I don't know, he just hasn't looked as good recently in the boxing, and also he's been KO'd before by like Izzy and stuff in the rematch. Close-ish, but a lot of his success was with grappling, and I don't know, he's like not that diverse, I guess, and his defense isn't as good. I guess Cannonier, you could say, because Cannonier went very close fight and won against Sean Strickland in a pretty much striking-only match. But I do still think pure boxing-wise and defense and offense taken into account, technique-wise, I think Sean Strickland is the guy. Maybe Cannonier versus Mavov's taking place in a couple weeks' time. If Sean Strickland loses to Paulo Costa, and then maybe like Cannonier or Mavov wins, I might actually put one of them, because Mavov's got some pretty good boxing too. I know he did lose to Strickland, but like if he schools Cannonier, I don't know, he'll be up there too, but probably not number one. But yeah, I'm going to go with Sean Strickland. Don't think it's that controversial to say. Let's move on though to the light heavyweight division. Now for the light heavyweight division, I've gone with Alex Pereira. Now this was an interesting one. I was trying to be like intricate with it. I was trying to think like, oh, maybe like Rakic, I guess, or maybe like Blachowicz, I don't know. But no, I've gone with Pereira. It's a pretty safe bet. He's the champion of the division as a striker. I guess his kicks are very strong too. That's why I was kind of thinking like, oh, maybe if you take away the kicks, is he still the best? Like, is he the best boxer? I've gone with yes. I think he's clearly the hardest hitter at light heavyweight. He's got, I would say, the best. He's got obviously the most dangerous like singular weapon with that left hook, and obviously Jamal Hill's out the conversation. He got KO'd. And like Rakic, I was thinking, because like look, in the first round against Yuri, Rakic did look really good and his hands were crisp, but he was landing a lot more leg kicks. And honestly, I do still stand by saying Rakic had a better first round against Yuri than Alex Pereira did. But difference is obviously Rakic got finished in the second, with his Pereira finished Yuri in the second. So yeah, Rakic is a close second in my opinion. I do believe he's a better boxer than Jamal Hill. I think he would fucking smoke Jamal Hill if they fought. Blachowicz is up there too. We saw him give Alex Pereira a very competitive fight, but a lot of his early success came with grappling. And apart from that, who else are we looking at? Like Khalil Roundtree? I'm good, bro. He lost to fucking Marcin Pachnio. So yeah, I'm going to go with Alex Pereira as the best boxer of the light heavyweight division. But let's move on to the heavyweights. Tom Aspinall is who I've gone with for best boxer at heavyweight. Look, before the Pavlovich fight, it was definitely Pavlovich. Pavlovich was the guy. He was the Donny finishing everyone in the first round with just boxing. He was the Russian, the tank, the fridge that would just walk forward, pump a jab in your face, and just TKO you in 60 seconds. But since then, we've seen Tom Aspinall KO, obviously, Marcin Tybura on the feet, which even though I know we make fun of Tybura, he's a fat nobody. I mean, he's not a nobody, he's just a fat Polish dude. But still, Tybura's not that bad, and he's a top 10 ranked heavyweight right now. So yeah, we've seen Aspinall smoke Tybura with punches, and then we saw him just smoke Sergey Pavlovich with punches too. So anyone else who it would have been, look, Gane is a lot more kick-based. His boxing is still good, he's still a precise striker, but I think a combination of speed, power, precision, precision beats power and timing beats speed. So yeah, I've gone with Aspinall. I do think he's the most precise boxer. Like, this guy throws 1-2s and just lands them for a living. Like, that's what's happening. His power is great. His defense is solid. Look, he does bring his chin up in the air a little bit. So defensively wise, I'm gonna probably go with Gane as like the best defensive striker. But offensive boxing combined, all of that, just with the boxing, I'm going with Aspinall. But that is the video done, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments if you guys disagreed with any of my picks. I know other people have done similar styles to this before, but it's people came at me for saying that I didn't even say someone copied my video. I just said someone did the video after me, like a day later, and then someone's like, oh, there's like limited amounts of videos to do, so you can't even say it's copying. And I'm like, I mean, I didn't say it was copying, but whatever. So some people, I know everyone comes in my comments and says I'm copying videos. If someone's done a best boxers in each division video before, I think Hopper MMA might have done one. I'm not copying him again. Yeah, it's just coming up on Poirier fight week. He's up in the conversation. Holloway fought recently. Topuria won the belt. Urseg's entered himself into the conversation. So there's a lot of new guys to talk about as the best boxers in their divisions. So yeah, that's the video done, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.